Firstly, thank you very much taking the time in your busy schedule and coming this evening. I'm sure it'll be a lot more enjoyable than Chris Matthews or some of the other shows that you appear on.
Now, Chris Matthews is easy because he not only asks the questions, he answers them. You just sit there.
I promise I won't answer the questions this evening. Can terrorism be defeated?
There's a nice, easy start. See, you're worse than Chris Matthews. He would answer the question. Terrorism is not an enemy. The distinction is between tactics and specific. The war on terror is a linguistically nutty phrase. That's like saying the war on blitzkrieg or the war on cancer. No, that's not even a good analogy, because cancer is a very specific thing. Like the war on poverty. There's certain things that will always be with us. Our enemy since 9/11 is not terror. It's not even terrorists. Are the Tamil Tigers in Sri Lanka our enemy? Is the Liberation Front, the Polisario in the Western Sahara, our enemy? No. Our enemy is Al-Qaeda and like-minded organizations that seek to destroy the United States and Western Europe, and whose primary objective, in fact, is to destroy secular Islamic governments. If you gave bin Laden 4 bullets, I think he would use them, he wouldn't waste any of them on Americans, because he assumes that one president will be replaced by another. His targets would be Musharraf in Pakistan, Mubarak in Egypt, Abdullah in Jordan, and the King of Saudi Arabia. Also Abdullah right now. I'm guessing, but those would be the kinds of people, maybe Erdogan. But that's their target. So can the war on terror ever end? There'll always be terrorism. How can we prevent it? The issue is to contain it, to limit its damage to the United States and other countries that have been targeted, and to attack its root causes. You can't do it by stopping every terrorist. There are too many so-called soft targets in the world, like railroad stations, and they've hardened airports, but you all know that you could get within a certain distance of an airport before you're stopped. You can't keep expanding the perimeter indefinitely. Technology is useful but has its limits. I think the question doesn't have real meaning, but I think it's very interesting that it's the first question you ask, because it's part of a process by which the current administration has led the American public into misunderstanding its own situation. In World War II, we had a clear enemy. It had a capital, Berlin, Tokyo. In the Vietnam War, there was a clear enemy. Some people didn't like the word, but we were fighting them. It had a clear capital, Hanoi. In the Gulf War, there was a clear enemy, Saddam, and the goal was clear: drive them out of Kuwait. This is something else. That doesn't mean we're not in a tremendous struggle for our national strength, but it's certainly, but it's so interesting to me, as soon as you pose the question that way, you've lost. It's easy to get another suicide bomber. The miracle is we haven't had any events in the U.S. since 9/11, but we all understand it could happen tomorrow again. There'll never be a day when we're terror-free. Those of you with historical bents know that there was a wave of similar activity with suicide, effectively suicide bombers in the 1890s, running up to Sarajevo in 1914. And the ideology that led to that, primarily anarchistic movement, which involved killing one American president, killing Archduke of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and the Empress of Austro-Hungary, and many other leading political figures all over Europe and attempts in the U.S., that it kind of burned itself out. But if you read Conrad's The Secret Agent, it's astonishing how contemporary it suddenly has become. Joseph Conrad's Secret Agent, I should have said.
Very